the impression of Chaucer's Canterbury Pilgrims, which I think for the last 100 years has been either the most famous image by Blake or certainly one of the 2 or 3 most famous and most frequently reproduced. It's also one of the largest engraving done by Blake. And it caused an enormous controversy in his life, and he wrote extensively about it, which is very unusual for any artist to write in great detail about a work which he's done. But Blake wrote pages about the Canterbury Pilgrims. This is one of, I think, just 3 in which he partially colored the engraving. So it's especially impressive. It's also a very beautiful impression. I parted with it because I, again, felt it should be in a museum where it would be accessible. Although I must say I gave it up with very great regret. But this is a kind of public image, famous, reproduced in schoolrooms, you know. There are probably thousands of schoolrooms where the teacher teaches Chaucer or English literature where they have this reproduced. In the case of coloring, we know that Mrs. Blake worked closely with her husband. Their marriage was an extremely happy one, and I cannot prove, nor can anyone else, so far as I know, that Blake did the coloring here and not Mrs. Blake. And people today try to say, I think that must be Mrs. Blake's coloring, or that is certainly Blake's coloring. I think one really can't know. And I think that it's only appropriate also to pay tribute to Mrs. Blake, who was his silent and perhaps long-suffering partner in a very happy marriage, but it must have been very difficult.